Welcome, welcome, once again, to Meatballcraft, Dimensional Ascension. Hugs are even cooler edition. You know what, sainagh? I agree. Hugs are even cooler. We actually have a lot to get through today, quite a bit, and I'm looking forward to it because it is going to be very action-packed and very entertaining. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Most of what I've done off-screen has been exploration of our new dimensions. This is because largely progression in the Twilight Forest is blocked behind bosses. And we also need to get some of the Aether bosses out of the way, specifically because we need bricks from their dungeons and loot from the areas they are in order to progress in Woot and Deep Mob Learning, which are the two mods in this pack that allow us to essentially simulate farming mobs without actually having to farm mobs, which is quite nice. So let's go ahead and get right into it. First of all, like I said, nothing's really changed, although I have begun chipset production once again. As you can see, I've moved the battery over here, and we are once again making all the chipsets because I get the feeling we're going to need a lot of them. And let me go ahead and don't mind the Curse of Undeath. I'll explain that in a minute. Okay. And yes, I can fly again now. All right. So, first things first. About that Curse of Undeath, as you can see, it's actually, the symbol of it is even sort of like Dark Souls-y. It's like the mark from Dark Souls, which is quite nice. This happened while I was in the Twilight Forest. So this isn't a Twilight Forest thing. This is an Electroblob's wizardry thing. Necromancers, which are the wizards in purple robes, can occasionally curse you with undeath. This is a permanent effect. It does not go away, as evidenced by the fact that there is no timer and that it has that special, like, tag on it. It's all shiny and extra eye-catching. What this essentially does is it turns you into an undead. If I were to walk outside without something on my head, I would catch on fire and take damage just like an undead does. Additionally, anything that would hurt an undead specifically will also hurt me specifically as well, so if this was a PvP-enabled server, I would really not want to get hit by a smite. For all intents and purposes, I am an undead now. There's two ways to fix this. One is you use a remove curse spell, which I don't believe we have, but I'll double check. We don't have it. Or alternatively, you can drink one of these purifying elixirs. This is the thing. Even though the name is scrambled, JEI is smarter than we are, so it can tell that this is the remove curse. We don't have it. But I do have a purifying elixir. Now, removes curses when consumed, Electroblob's wizardry. However, you'll notice there's no way to make this. Okay. A small vial of exotic-looking golden liquid, which clearly has powerful healing properties. It would probably be wise to save this for when it is needed. These can be found in the End City dungeons, mineshafts, strongholds, desert temples, jungle temples, igloos, and the woodland mansion. We actually do have one of these right here. We did manage to find one. However, I'm not going to use it because I'd like to test something else instead, which is a certain command. We are probably not going to go to the Dungeon Doors dimension today because we have a lot to do. We have a lot of bosses to kill in the Betweenlands. We haven't opened the door to the Betweenlands yet. We have a lot of bosses to kill in the Aether and in the Twilight Forest. So we probably won't get to the Dimension Doors dimension today. However, there is something I'd like to know if it's in this pack or not. It should be, but I want to test it. And since I have the Curse of Undeath, now's a great time to test it. There's a third way to do it, to remove it, and that is to die. By the way, the particle effects that are floating around me are that effect, in case you're curious as to what that is. I'm undead. So I'm going to go ahead and do what that one guy did in the Chronicles of Riddick and walk out into the fire and choose death. I choose death over dishonor. Walking out into the rays of the sun, slowly burning to death in a really cool way, because the Chronicles of Riddick don't make any sense, but they're really, really cool. Trust me. Now, you may be wondering what I'm doing here. Why am I choosing death? Oh, jeez, the sun's setting. I may not burn to death. Burn faster, darn it! Why am I doing this? There is a specific command that I'm going to attempt, and if it works, I'm going to teach it to you. which is, it's related to Coriel Tombstone specifically. I'm not going to burn to death. It's too late. We're not going to. Darn it. Well, I don't know. Maybe the fire will kill me. We'll see. We'll just stand still and hope. Nope, we're not going to do it. Okay, fine. I'll drown. I'll drown. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. It sure is peaceful down here, especially for a guy who was almost dead of fire. Very ironic that a man who was burning to death would then drown. Deeply ironic. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. Only a Sith would tell you a story this ironic. Anyway, the command is \TB restore inventory. And normally that is enough by itself, but you may also potentially have to do space and then your name. Oh no, I've died. Oh no, I can't make it back to my death. Like, it's just, I died in another dimension far away, or I fell into the void somewhere, and it's just, it would be really, really hard to get my stuff back. Well, let's check and see if it works. TB RESTORINVENTORY. There we go. It works exactly the way I was hoping it does. And what this essentially does, for the record, in case you're curious, is it simulates you clicking on your tombstone. So you have to have your key in your inventory for that command to work. Do not get rid of your key. You must have your key. I'm going to repeat that just to make sure no one misunderstands what I just said. Do not get rid of your key. You have to have your key for that command to work. But it essentially simulates you clicking the key onto your tombstone from anywhere, even across dimensions. So it's good to know that that works. I'm glad we tested that, so I know now if I fall to my death in the Dimension Doors dimension, we'll be fine. And as you'll note, I'm no longer an undead, so that fixed the problem, which was part of the reason I did that. Okay. So, let us move forwards. I have a few tiny things I want to do before we set out. We've got a lot of stuff to cover, and cover it we shall. First of all, we are starting to reach a point where if I want to get involved in... Oh, what is it? It is... Right. To progress in the pack, we're going to need modular machines. Because modular machine stuff is all the custom multi-blocks that do special processes in this pack are derived from the modular machinery mod, as far as I can tell. And he is essentially what sainagh has done, and again, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Please correct me if I'm wrong, modpack creator. But what he's essentially done is the modular machinery mod lets you create certain machines that do industrial things. I was never too much of a fan of it personally in the packs that I've seen it in, because one, I think they're all really ugly, and two, there's usually other ways to do those processes better. However, he has rather ingeniously realized that what you can do is you can essentially... Hang on, let me just do this, I think. Yeah. What he's realized is he can make custom multi-blocks using modular machinery as a base. So this is essentially all of the special multi-blocks that are added by this pack, right? The mythic void resource miner, the the particle accelerator, right? All these things, the dimension stabilizer, the mysterium mythical void resource miner, the nightmare synthesizer, right? All these things are not vanilla at all for modular machinery. Modular machinery is not nearly that cool of a mod, but he has made it this cool of a mod by creating a ton of custom multi-blocks. So to get much farther, we're going to have to start investing in that. So I'm working on that behind the scenes. The next time you see this base, I probably will have emptied out a lot of it and started transporting it into the void. But to get started, to get into this, we're going to need fluxed armor plating because it is used to make our machine cases. Now, to make the machine cases, we are also going to need, where was it? We're going to need alamite because it is part of the advanced plating in nuclear craft, which is itself used to make all these nuclear craft devices. But the most important thing is it's used to make the melter. As far as I can tell, the melter is the best way to get more destabilized redstone, which is needed to make all these fluxed things like the flux crystals and the fluxed electrum plates. You need destabilized redstone. The melter just lets us melt redstone directly into destabilized redstone. It also, yeah, destabilized redstone. We can just melt redstone into it. It also lets us make a bunch of other substances really easily, like energized glowstone. We can melt tons of things in here. So I need to make a melter. Most of this is doable. The night slime, aluminum sheet metal, the seared bricks, nether cotta. All of this is doable. Check your JEI if you're following along. All of this is doable. The only thing I would advise you on is if you're trying to find night slime, you're going to need slime, purple slime specifically. And if you're looking for liquid purple slime and you need purple slime blocks, look for the purple slime islands in the sky specifically. Other colors aren't going to help you. If possible, try and find a purple slime tree on one of those islands. You can get purple slime saplings. They only grow on slimy dirt or slimy grass, but they drop slime balls when you cut the trees down. And they also have an EMC value, so don't rely on them giving saplings back. Put them on your table, right, to get more of that if you are having trouble with night slime. But anyway, the problem, I'll cut to the chase. The problem is these basic platings and the advanced platings, essentially. And to get much into this, we're going to need tough alloy we can make. But basic plating is expensive. It needs platinum to make, but we can make that too. One of the problems is alamites. If you're not paying attention, no offense, you could be confused and believe that the only way to get it would be the alloy furnace to turn 3 iron and 5 aluminum into an alamite. Which is kind of a pain to make. You'd have to make a whole nother one of these. However, molten alamite can be made in Tinker's Construct. Please note this recipe. I'm showing it to you. 5 aluminum, 2 iron, and 2 obsidian makes 3 alamites. So we're actually going to go ahead and make some molten alamite and have it cooking in the background while I go about my business. So real quick, I just wanted to show this off to explain in case anyone's following along. Let's see, we'll do, what were the ratios for that again? 2 to 5. Okay. So let's say obsidian, let's say 32 is 2. All right, that'll work. And then 32. Okay. And then we need 5 aluminum. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Okay. Then we will do one of these. Give me my tablet, please. And we're going to need to do... I've added a lot more stuff, by the way. Aluminum. So, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Okay. If we put all this in and just let it sit, that should combine together. So we'll do the aluminum first because I think it's going to cook very quickly. Yeah, there we go. And then we could just let that sit and leave it alone, and that'll all cook up into some alamites. Now then, let's move on. So I did progress through Thaumcraft quite a bit. I had to provoke a warp event. I'm going to let you know that. Oh, also, by the way, as you can see on this table, we have everything we need to make the block, the teleportation block to bring us into the deep dark. The only thing we're missing is the dimensional threads, which means all we have to do is go to the dimension doors dimension, and we can do that. This has largely served its purpose. I'm still letting it run, though, because I think we need compressed cobble for other things. Right now we have 31 quintuple compressed. Oh, and I should probably remove that death marker. Goodbye. Anyway, I have progressed Thaumcraft quite a bit. I made another Project E bag. I was trying to see if I could do storage, by the way, just as a public service announcement. I was attempting to see if I could do storage in the... I don't even know where I put it now, but it was in the golden, the bag of holding, which this pack directs us towards. However, I can't get that thing to hold shulker boxes to save my soul. I tried making shulker boxes and then color coding them and putting them in the bag of holding, but it spits them out. It does not accept them, and it makes a big mess, and it's just a little buggy. I don't think it is the pack developer's fault because I looked into it. Here it is, the bag of holding. Gosh, I can fit so many shulker boxes in here, empty before using it in recipes. I don't think it's his fault. I think it is just Extra Utilities 2 is a really old mod, and I've seen a lot of people complain about the bag of holding and say it's really buggy and it doesn't work quite right for them. So I am electing to not use it, and instead I'm going to lean heavily into Project E-Bags from now on, and I will maybe also use, because iron... hang on. There we go. Iron Chest is a mod that lets you upgrade chests, and you can upgrade chests through different things to make them bigger, but you can also do the exact same thing to shulker boxes too. I'll probably use the upgrade tiers for shulker boxes as well if it comes to that, but for now there's no reason not to just use the alchemy bags because they're pretty easy to make. This purple one, just as for anyone who's struggling, if you're having problems getting the bag of holding to accept, because the bag of holding's purpose is it's supposed to hold bags that contain other things in them, so it's a bag that can hold other bags is the idea. Like, I don't think, I would imagine putting one of the alchemical bags, well, no, that might work because of how they function, but the idea is, let's not get distracted. The point of Extra Utilities 2 bag of holding is it's supposed to be a bag that holds other bags. It kind of doesn't work, though. So just be warned of that. Right now, this is where I'm keeping all of my Thaumcraft stuff that I've done. As you can see, I've done quite a bit. I've got warded jars set up that have quite a bit of essence in them. I also, the two most important things here are this crystal bag and also these pods. So, where's the Thaumanomicon? There it is. Real quick, before we move on, I just want to show this. So, if we go to, it's not Thaumic Tinkers. It's not Energistics. It's going to be Additions. Okay, so under Additions, once you unlock Additions itself, you unlock Growing Essentia. Crucible seems to do the job. Throwing seeds with some herba and a bit more other Essentia of any kind seems to infuse wheat seeds and change its genes. This makes it much harder to get more plantables after gathering one, but this is definitely something that may come in use for farming rare Essentia. And essentially what this is you can throw 20 of any Essentia, any element you want, even complex ones, 10 herba, and then throw some wheat seeds into a crucible, and it'll give you seeds that will grow these pods. And essentially these pods are worth 5 each of that element, and they are pure, so they don't have anything else associated with them. So this is a way for you to easily farm more. Right now I'm farming Metalia and Precantato, which are necessary to make thaumium because it's metal and magic to make the thaumium ingots, combine it with iron, plus all of the main core elements, the prime elements, right? Earth, fire, wind, water, order, chaos, right? So I'm doing that actually outside. I've got it set up, and that's what these seeds are from. You do still get more seeds occasionally. It's just rare. I just wanted to point that out. This is a really nice way to get it if you need specific for whatever you're doing to get more Essentia, if you need specific things. Also, this this bag from Thaumic Additions Reconstructed is, where are you? Right here. The crystal bag. So if you take a focus pouch and surround it by each of these larger crystals, and it's an infusion craft, and you need quite a bit of these to make it work as well, you can get a crystal bag. And the crystal bag is how I've compressed down all my crystals. You can put crystals in here, and then you can pull them out. It's got room for everything, right? Like, I've got 165 Draco in here. As you can see, I can just pull a stack of Draco crystals out. I've got 92 herba. I can pull a stack out of that, right? And you can sort them by names and functions, and it can hold tons and tons of things. So this is how I've got all my crystals sorted for now. The crystals themselves are made through another process. That's vanilla Thaumcraft, as far as I can tell. You have to scan one of the crystals in the wild to get it, like the crystals that are on the walls and caves. Scan them to get this crystal farming thing. And then you will learn how to combine seeds, any of the prime crystals, and Salus Mundus in an infusion altar to get these seeds, and then you can plant them on walls and stuff, and they will slowly drain vis in the aura around them and create more. So it's a way to propagate the prime seeds out and get more of them. And you need one of each of those to make that bag. But I'm just as a general heads up, it's a useful item to have, that crystal bag, and also it's useful to know that you can farm the. Let me put the Thaumic on there. It's useful to know that you can farm any Essentia you want using those seeds as well. It's very handy. There's also actually one more thing I want to show you. This is just something I figured out, but under Thaumic Tinkers, there is this thing called the Essentia funnel. And what it is it's an attachment. You put it on top of a hopper, and then it will allow you to hopper Essentia directly from one jar to another. In fact, let me just show you that real fast before we move on to more interesting things, fighting bosses and stuff. Let me show you. The Redwood Lab has been rejiggered a little bit. As you can see, I've made a small expansion. The Essentia smeltery has been upgraded to Thaumium tier. Attaching these auxiliary venting ports to the sides of it reduces the chances of flux being created and put into the chunk, although there's still a fair amount in here, unfortunately. Oh, there's herba here. I didn't know there was herba left. That's nice to know. We can actually drain that now. But just to show off, just to show you what it is, yeah, let's take that air and herba. There we go. And we'll take an Essentia too. So, no. Excuse me. There we go. Also, just as a heads up, Thaumic Additions Reconstructed, it also, there's a lot of nice things here. It gives you the ability to upgrade your warded jars by applying brass to them, then applying a thaumium plate to them, and then applying void to them. I have not yet created void metal on my own, but it's important to note that those Crimson Citadel places, they have void blocks. They have blocks of void metal embedded in the walls as decoration. Definitely go loot those. That's important. I haven't gone back and stolen all of them yet, but it's on my to-do list. So you can take these, and you'll have to use the Tinker's Hammer to hammer those flat. They won't melt in the smeltery, but they'll let you create jars that are dramatically larger than the vanilla ones, as you can clearly see from this air jar. Check this. This is how the Essentia funnel works. It just lets you drain Essentia directly into new jars to move it around, so that way you don't have to do it in multiples of 8. It's a real time saver. Just as a heads up, maybe consider making an Essentia funnel as well. I know sainagh, the pack developer, he sort of suggests you don't get too attached or involved with Thaumcraft until you make the Omethal Warp Cleanser. Which I think is good advice, but I did want to just show these things off in case you need them for your own little ventures into Thaumcraft. And let me go ahead and put this back up, put the book away. Okay, I think that's about it. Oh, and if you're having trouble crafting certain things that require a lot of aura, the Workbench Charger makes it so instead of pulling aura from this chunk, it pulls aura from this chunk and all adjacent chunks as well. So it's a 3x3, so it pulls from 9 chunks instead of just 1. This is also vanilla Thaumcraft, just as a heads up in case anyone doesn't know, because I didn't know. I'm new to Thaumcraft, but be aware that the Workbench Charger is the thing, so if you end up running short on it. Also, I created my warp event by making a brain in a jar. Technically, I don't need a brain in a jar because it serves the same purpose as the Tome of Parita. It stores experience, but it's crappier. The Tome is better. But by having the brain in a jar next to your research table, it is one of the research items, and you can pull Eldritch cards when you do it that can give you warp. So this is how I got my warp event to occur. You need a warp event to happen in order to be able to craft to have the inspiration to craft the bath salts and the soap to help you with warp. You need to experience it before you can get the stuff to cleanse yourself. So that's just a heads up. That's how I did it. But I probably did it in a more complicated way. I think you could also just eat zombie brains until you trip and do it that way too, because I think that inflicts warp as well. That's another way of potentially doing it. Yes, we are in fact forming the. I'm sorry, what? Aluminum, obsidian. Did I miscount? Excuse me. Alamite, obsidian, aluminum. Do you need more iron? That's weird. I mean, okay. We can do that if that's what you want. Here, take a stack and just chew through it until you're done. Anyway, I don't think there's anything else to mention besides the fact that I started on Woot, as you can clearly see. By the way, make the shard die and the Yaw hammer. One important thing, I can get rid of the alamites. One important thing to note is this is how you can get more of the Stygian iron. Stygian iron can be made from nether star shards. If you take a nether star and use the shard die and smash it, you get 9 nether star shards. A compressor from Tech Reborn can turn a shard into Stygian iron, which means once you have the Tome of Alkestri and the nether star thing up and running, which we do, you can make as much Stygian iron as you want, just from redstone and glowstone. And please do recall, just as again, as a public service announcement, the Tech Reborn machines specifically do require their associated wrench to move. Do not try and move them, even with Silk Touch, it will not work. You need the Tech Reborn wrench specifically to move these around once you've placed them. Otherwise, they will break, and you'll just get a machine casing out of it. So, but you do need the compressor for that. That's just a heads up. Let me put this bag away, and then we will talk about more interesting things, more fun things than what we currently have to deal with. Do we have an empty bag? Yeah, we do. Give me all the lava eggs. Let's go ahead and start some of this lava cooking again. So, in order to get into the more advanced stuff in Woot and in Deep Mob Learning, which is the step up from Woot, we are going to need blocks from the Aether. We need blocks from the dungeon bosses, specifically A-E-T-H-E-R. We're going to need, I think it's Hellfire Stone, harvestable from Aether Dungeon after defeating respected boss. Yeah, this is why he tagged it with that specifically, is because we need it. Hellfire Stone, Angelic Stone, and Carved Stone are necessary to make Aether from the Content Tweaker, which is used to make interdimensional energy orbs, which I don't know what that's used for, but I'm sure it's used for something. And then we also need it to make these soot-covered plates from Deep Mob Learning, as well as we need tier 2 shards from Woot, which lets us get into Deep Mob Learning. Deep Mob Learning, Woot and Deep Mob Learning are the same kind of mod, from my understanding. They do the same thing, but Deep Mob Learning is a bit more of an advanced version. Yeah, let's go ahead and... Actually, we'll take all of this, because that needs to go in the other thing. I guess everything else can get dumped in the general pile for now. I'll sort it later off screen. Okay, and then put all of that in the bag. Actually, there is one thing before we go that I'll show you. I made this partially because of this. Now, there is a scythe that does the same thing. There we go. Now it's all done. We got 10 blocks and some odd ingots. Okay. Let's start pulling that. I don't want it as plates. I want it as ingots. And that'll run until it's just the iron left. There is a scythe in Tinkers, and it used to be pretty strong. However, since a lot of the mob farming in this pack is automated, I don't know how useful it would be to make a super scythe in this pack and try and use that for both mob farming and crop harvesting. But there is a cyclic one that can be made, harvests and replants automatically in a large area, and it has an EMC value, which means I have already put it on the table, and if this ever breaks, I can just make another one. But essentially what this does is, if you look, these are all of the witchery, the bewitchment plants that you need to do magic. Watch this. If I swing it, boom, it automatically harvests and replants all of them, and then I get everything that was in their inventory. So that's pretty cool. And I actually have all of the little crops set up over here. All of them are ready except the aqua and the ordo. But these grow and produce those pods, and I can just whoop, swing, and everything that's ready just gets harvested. And then I can take this and stash everything I harvested in here. And this is not only is it a way to make sustainable prime material, but it is also, I'd like to point out, it is, in my opinion, the best way to make more thaumium, because you can easily set up Metalia and Precantato and have it harvesting from that. But let me go ahead and put the scythe away, and let me put the alchemy bag away, and then we will actually get out of here, I swear. I just wanted to point that out. So let me ask you guys an important question. Do you want to see a dragon? That's a really dumb question to ask, isn't it? Of course you want to see a dragon. I think I found one. A real dragon, not one of the beta males up on the surface that is like the size of a wyvern or something. I'm talking one of the big ones. So you can't get eggs. I have learned this from doing stuff. I know I've said a lot of incorrect things in the past about this in other episodes. You can't get eggs from female dragons on the surface. You need a tier 5 dragon to get eggs, and it has to be a female. There are tier 5 males, so it's a coin toss, but essentially the only place you can get tier 5s is underground. Okay. So you have to go digging. So how do you do it, right? Like what's the process? Well, there's a certain depth you can go looking for them at, but other than that, there's not a whole lot that really recommends it. There's not a lot that can be done. So since I thought about it, I decided if I was going to get a dragon, I'd want an ice one. So I found a decent length, a decent size ice biome. I went down and I started looking. By the way, before we leave, I swear, one more thing. This is the little thing that I copy pasted to make all the stuff with my building gadget. I just built it over there, but I just copy pasted one corner to the other, and that's how I'm making those platforms in the void. Anyway, way over here, I made a snow mine, and I just started going straight down at the correct depth to look for them. Well, let me show you what I found. There's 2 things down there that I bumped into. We're going to do both of them right now. Snow mine surface. So, first of all, if you want to go digging and looking for adult dragon nests underground, please note my wide depth, 34. I have been told from my research on this that 34 is in fact the optimal depth for finding these. So go down to 34 if you're interested in doing this as well, and you can just start digging. Now, I figured it would be a long shot if I just dug tunnels, so I also brought my scanner from Scannable. And I still have that thing that teaches it how to scan, not that one, this one, chests. And I thought about it, and I was like, well, I'm not sure what substances will be in the nest, but I know there will be treasure chests, right? So I went digging. Yes, that's a structure over there. We'll talk about that in a second. I went digging, and I made a hole. I made a shaft, and I was like, all right, what if I just ping chests and see if I can find chests, right? Well, about that. Return here, ping chest, dragon, question mark. Let me show you. I think I have found one. So, watch this. I think that's it. I think that is one of them. Now, there is a mine shaft that intersects this tunnel way down there. However, mine shafts don't have this many chests. I don't think they do. Normally they have minecart chests. And also, it can't be a stronghold either. Because a stronghold, one, I don't think it would have that many chests that close together either. And two, this is actually closer than the stronghold that we went to get to the end, which means if this was a stronghold, the pearls would have led us here instead because it's closer. I can't think of anything that would be except the dragon nest because it's got so many chests in it. And if that was the cavern, that would be about the right size for a big boy adult dragon. I think we are looking at a dragon cave. Which, if I'm correct, and this is a tier 5, it's a stage 5 adult dragon, that means it's going to be an ice dragon because where we are here, and it is essentially located right here. If that is it, then it's a coin toss. We are flipping a coin. If that's a female, there will be eggs there, and we will actually be able to get our fun. We might be able to get a baby dragon. If not, then it is what it is. Now, before we do that, though, yeah, I know, but there's something else. I walked right by it. You saw it. I found a weird structure here with a really scary thing breathing inside of it. I can hear something breathing inside of this structure. It kind of creeps me out. Also, the walls are indestructible. I don't know what's in here. It's a Divine RPG thing. Black Kairos bricks. I misspelled that. I spelled it with an I, Kairos, but this is this. Before we deal with that dragon, which I think is a dragon, before we check that, we're going to do this. Because I don't know what's in here, but I figure I can probably kill it. So I put a thing down here. Oh, there's something here. Enthralled Drama 6. Oh, we have to break these. Because I know what that is. These are dangerous. They're the big things. Man, it is dark and dingy in here. There's a sign over there. I assume that's something that he may have left for us. I'll check it in just a second as soon as I'm done, making sure we're not about to die. Because these dudes hit very, very hard. Okay. King wanted round arches. Fair enough. I mean, it's Minecraft, my guy. It looks pretty round to me. I don't know. Like, I guess you could have done stairs. I don't know. Are there even black Kairos brick stairs? No, it doesn't look like there are. You could have used black brick stairs from Advent of Ascension to round it out, but I think it looks pretty good just to use one type. I think you did all right. Purple bricks. So, what is in this chest? I don't know. A rupee shikaxe. Ooh, infinite uses. Interesting. So this is almost like the divine shikaxe. It's like a downgraded version of it. Okay. I'll take it. Is there like anything down in here? Doesn't look like it. Alright then. That was a neat little mini dungeon. I'm glad I broke those spawners before we got flooded by dinosaurs. Anyway, let's put this away. And let's go pick a fight with a big girl. Hopefully it's a big girl. So, here's the deal. There is a way to chain giant dragons to the ground and stop them from flying. You need those chains, and then you need, like, a dragon bone wall. Because dragon bone structures are the only things dragons can't break just by touching them. But I'm feeling dangerously cocky. We've got a wand that does a big boy effect. We've got the solar beam wand, and in fact, I'm actually going to put the pyromancer wand away. I'm going to take the master earth wand out, And we're going to use this solar beam. I think we can take it. I think we can take an adult, full-sized... That's iridium, I need that, excuse me. I think we can take a full-sized dragon if push came to shove. So... let's go ahead and saturate up. And I guess maybe just to make sure, we will put this away and we'll take the hammer out. Where is my hammer? Where on earth did I put my hammer? There it is. Okay. If this isn't a dragon, we will go to the Aether. But we need to go to the Aether anyway, because I have to beat those bosses. That is the primary thing we're doing today, is going to the Aether. But I wanted to check this first, just in case I'm right, and I think I am. Oh, I can feel it coming. Can you feel it coming? Can you feel the tension? Can you taste it? Oh, it is exactly what I thought it is. We're here. This is it. Okay. In fact, this is a fire dragon, isn't it? Let me... I've got a new spell, by the way, that I haven't tried. What does this look like if I throw lightning discs? Like that. We might do Flame Catcher instead, just because I think the Flame Catcher is going to do so much damage against a fire dragon. Oh, holy crap, she is big. Now, it doesn't have a pattern on the wings, which I think means it is female. I think we got lucky. I think that's a female. Let me go ahead. She's going to get real mad when I do this. Let's start the ruckus. That lag. She's just wandered off. Did she just leave? Excuse me? Hello? Where on earth did she go? Okay, a dragon that big doesn't just vanish. What? No, no, come on. I don't believe that. Where did she go? Did she go up? Oh, I see. She punched a... Holy crap, she is knocked... Okay, I'm starting to see why... Yeah, okay. I'm starting to see why people chain them. I'm starting to see that. She is just knocking a hole through the world to try and escape. Gotcha. She is a big girl. That has got to be female. One more. We got her. We slew a big dragon. A big one. Oh, thanks for celebrating with me, clown. Goodbye. Okay. So, I really wish we had night vision, but I guess we'll have to suffice with torches. Wow, she just blew a hole in the planet. Jeez. That's crazy. Oh, this is what stopped her. She hit asphalt. I see. That's why she didn't fully escape. She hit asphalt and got stuck. It slowed her down. That's hysterical. Hang on. Let me wall that off. We're going to need to gain access to that in just a second. Yeah, I got cobblestone on me. Hang on. Hang on. Ouch. Ouch. There we go. Now it's starting to go down. How much damage does lightning disc do? Pretty decent amount. Man, magic is good. I really wish guns were good. I'm sure maybe later guns are good, but like Electro Blob's magic is just great. It really is. Give me that Tanzanite. That's a biome-specific ore. That's a rare find. Anyway, once this asphalt stops flowing over top of the dragon, we will loot that dragon. Are you female? I can't even tell. I think you are, because of the wings. Let me go check the nest. Let's check the nest. Let's light this up. And check the nest. There we go. Now, I think there's supposed to be eggs somewhere. Ouch. Ouch. That's really slow. I'm just going to stick to Ice Shard for now. Anyway. Do that. Now, I wasn't quite sure if the eggs drop from the dragon or if the eggs are supposed to be in the world. The game, the stuff I've seen wasn't quite clear on that because apparently concise and clear documentation on Minecraft mods is far too much to ask for. But I know I'm preaching to the choir on that one. But I'm not sure if it's supposed to drop from her or if it is supposed to be a thing that that I get from like a thing in the world. If there's supposed to be a nest here, I'm not seeing a nest, so I'm hoping it comes from her. Either that or she trampled her own nest, which would be very disappointing if so. That asphalt's probably stopped flowing by now. I wanted the asphalt to be completely gone because I didn't want any drops to fall into it and be destroyed. That would be a really stupid way to lose the loot. Excuse me, Mr. Enderman. I'm starting to see, though, why people chain them down. It's not really a matter of cockiness. It's more a matter of I'm not even sure how much of her own loot she trashed on her way out the door. Like, for all I know, she trampled her own eggs. I wouldn't even know. Let's go ahead and store all that. She definitely broke at least one chest because I picked up a blacker lotus that would have only spawned from a chest. So let's go ahead and check out her body and see what we get from it. It is a stage 5 female. Mother of dragons, I got an egg from her. We have an egg. We have an egg. We're going to have a pet dragon, guys. We're going to have a pet dragon. Dragons are so cool. I love this mod. This is a great mod. This is everything everyone wanted to be in Skyrim when Bethesda was like, yeah, we're going to do an update that lets you ride the dragons. We were like, dragon eggs, dragon armor, dragon raising, and Bethesda's like, that's a lot of work. No, it's not what you're getting. This mod is everything that wasn't in Skyrim but should have been. Except for the part where the dragons talk in Skyrim. They don't talk here, so you can't have a dragon for a waifu. Not yet, anyway. No dragon husbandos. There we go. A blue dragon egg. And a stage 5 female skull. And a lot of scales. Nice, 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 nice. I'm gonna go ahead and put you away. What kind of loot is in these chests? It looks like it's just the normal loot that you would expect in dragon chests. I might loot this off screen because we do have a lot of stuff to go through. I don't know if it would be worth time to spend pulling everything out of this cave. I don't see anything like crazy extraordinary in these chests besides the blacker lotuses and those botanic catalysts, but I'm sorry. You know what? We're going to loot all the chests because apparently... What is that? Is that one of those snowflake things? What is blowing stuff up? Surely dragon caves aren't rigged to blow. That would be ridiculous. You know what? Screw it. Oh, it is you. There is a freaking thing here. Get out of here. Where is that snowflake? It's somewhere around here, and it's like attacking me through the wall or something. You know what? I'm going to get out of here before it blows up any more loots. I'll come back here later and loot this place. It's a lot of silver, and I think it's a lot of the same loot that you get. It's weird to call something generic dragon loot, but I think it's a lot of the same things you get in all of the places that, like all the dragon nests. I don't think there's anything special in here. Yeah, get styled on. Anyway, let's go ahead and get out of here real quick. And let's put all this away. And let's go home real fast. Okay. /home. There are these weird snowflake enemies. I think they're from Advent of Ascension that spawn in ice biomes, and they shoot blasts that are like a wither blast. Like the bombs that withers throw. They're crazy aggressive. I do not like them. They're noisy and they can wreck things. And I think there's one of them in a nearby cave that's aggroing on me and throwing stuff. I'm not going to play with that. We're just going to ignore that. Go ahead and drop off everything in there. I'll sort through all this crap later. And we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. By the way, these occult pickaxes are dropping now that my mining is high enough. Right-clicking gives you a wall hack that shows you ores. I think. Right-clicking shows all nearby ores. Yeah, see, you have to be close, but it will give you a wall hack, so you can see stuff through walls. I'm getting these now that my mining has reached a high enough level. Also, that doesn't appear to use any durability. Just pointing that out in case you're curious as to what on earth those are. They're just literally popping out of rocks that I break. That is what's happening. Anyway, let us... Actually, we're going to recharge the wand because we're about to fight a ton of bosses in consecutive fashion. So, like I said, we need to fight the Aether bosses. We have to, because they're necessary for what we're doing to try and progress. The bosses that we're going to fight in the Twilight Forest are less necessary, but I want to get all of them on screen, and since I've found a bunch of them, we might as well do them on screen if we can. This is the reason why I'm pretty sure we're not going to make it to the Dimension Doors Dimension this session today. We're not going to be doing it, because we've got so much stuff to do. I think we're going to run out of time, straight up. But, hey, it's action for you. I think we can easily do all the Aether stuff, because none of the Aether plugins are in this pack. The ones that let you that expand Aether content. I think the reason sainagh or sainagh, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, your screen name. I apologize. I think the reason that he chose that is the same reason that there's no mod that makes the. By the way, I did escalate this to the second to last tier. Technically, the beacons themselves are the only things that are needed. You don't need a pyramid underneath it. They don't have to be active beacons, but I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you make a pyramid of blood on top of 4 pyramids of solid gold for swag points? But anyway, the point is, this has been escalated to its second highest tier. In vanilla blood alchemy, by the way, this is as high as it'll go because tier 6 is not craftable. It is unfinished content, and since this is a largely discontinued mod, that means it is forever unfinished content. But a lot of pack developers will turn on tier 6 and then use it to gate their own custom content because it's just a nice thing that you can do if you're pulling the guts of the mod apart and shuffling it together. To make the final thing, you need to make... The reason you can't make it is the capstone. The final tier has one more row of towers like these. And it uses... Where are you? I may not be... Actually, it's cluster, isn't it? Yeah, it's this, Crystal Cluster from Blood Alchemy. See how the recipe is by Craft Tweaker 2? That's because it's a custom recipe that he created. Without Craft Tweaker, this is an uncraftable block, which means tier 6 is limited only to creative modes. You would need to use creative to give yourself these blocks. His requires these crystal will clusters found on the will monoliths in the nether roof, which I think is the thing we found, and runes of augmented capacity. Or you can put a rune of augmented capacity in a blood thing, and for 100,000 LP, you can turn a rune of augmented capacity into a crystal cluster. And that's used to get tier 6, as well as the demonic, or no, it's the ethereal slates? What is the highest slate? Ethereal slates. This is tier 5, excuse me. Or is it tier 6? No, it's tier 5 is the last tier, excuse me. And they're used to make certain things. Or wait, hang on. Is there a slate for that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, there is no slate associated with it. Okay, so I don't know what can be made on a tier 6 altar, but he's turned it on, so there must be something. Anyway, moving on. Let's go to... everything got turned off. I forgot about that. Fine, turn them all on. Jeez. Time to get eye-raped by all the beacons. I'm going to have to... I don't know if I want to make an episode where I just go around to all the places I've been and get rid of all this stuff, but... where on earth is it? I named it Aether. I've scrolled past it. I'm sure of it. I'm sure I've scrolled past it. Where are you? This is what I get for being cute and building it. There it is, the Aether. This is what I get for being cute and building it in their structure instead of putting it next to my base. Anyway, I think the reason that he didn't use any of the plugins is because this pack has freaking 80 mods in it, or like 80 different dimensions. There's no point in adding the things that make the Aether extra special when you're arguably not going to spend that much time here, right? So let's start with the bronze dungeon. Okay, let me turn off that as well. In vanilla Aether, right, there's 3 dungeons: the bronze, the silver, and the gold. Aether Lost Content is a plugin that adds in things for the Aether that never made it in, including a platinum dungeon where you fight the Whale King, which is the king of the Sky Whales. But that's not in. Lost Content is not in this pack. Again, I think for the same reason that there's no like Ender Dragon overhaul. It would just be a waste because we deal with it and then we move past it, right? There's a lot more to do than just the vanilla stuff. So we're just going to run through each of these. Ooh, that's gravitite. I need that. Excuse me. I'm sorry. See how it falls in reverse? Like I said, or I think I mentioned it in the last episode. See how it falls in reverse? Anyway, that's the boss right there. Let me put away my hammer because I don't think we'll need it. And then we will take some torches with us. Oh, it won't let me place torches. Interesting. But this is, yep, there's the mimic. Man, he has a lot of health. Kill him before he regenerates all of it. Anyway. The first one is the slider. He cannot be attacked with normal weapons. You have to hurt him with a pick. That is his gimmick. He's a giant block and he goes in straight lines. If I were to try and click on him, I think it'll actually mention something about it. Perhaps I need to attack it with a pickaxe. See? Bonk, bonk. And you notice the entrance closed, so we're now trapped in here with him. He gets faster as time goes on. But, as you can see, his movements are a bit limited, so if you're clever about it, you can literally run circles around him, and he can't really do anything about it. But he is going to... Wow, he has so much health. They gave him 500 health. Really, sainagh? You gave the slider 500 health. I'm going to be here all day. Holy crap. You can only hurt him with picks. So this is actually going to suck. I did not realize. Actually, can he take retaliatory damage? Oh, he can. We're blocking. We're doing this instead because he's going to take way more damage if we do this. You're supposed to hit him with a pick to damage him, but I'm going to cheese him with the Tinker's Battle Sign because apparently this is more effective. He's taking 9 damage a shot now. Anyway, this is the bronze dungeon fight. When he gets low, he's going to turn red and he'll start moving a lot faster. The silver dungeon, we already saw a bit of that in the previous episode. It's the sort of the Greek temple that's full of Valkyries, and I'm definitely not going to kidnap some and put them in my arcane spa when I build one. And the last dungeon is we fight the sun god, which actually changes the environment. Okay, and you see we got a bronze key from him. Okay. This treasure chest can't be opened until you have, like, the key. It's kind of indestructible. But once I put the key in, we can open it. I really wish the battle towers worked like this. Kind of sucks they don't. Sentry boots, cloud staff, flaming sword, 2 Valkyrie lances, and a phoenix bow. We got some gear. We got some stuff. And now it's gone. Just disappears. Am I trapped here? Maybe. Kind of weird. It sort of bugged out a little bit there at the end. Anyway, that was fun. Let's go ahead and do another one. That slider dungeon. Let's go to the other slider dungeon. I found another one. These are in larger islands, by the way, and they are just sort of like straight tunnels with rooms in them. So you can, sometimes you want to check the sides of islands to try and find them. Apparently I'm not allowed to place torches down here, so I won't bother. It is good to know that the battle sign can cheese the slider, though. That's good information. Actually, I didn't even try and use magic against him. I should try and use an Electroblob spell and see what it does to him, if it does anything. Again, he's coded so that you're supposed to use, like, picks against him. But I don't know, like, if that's true, like, if that remains true, or if he can take damage from Electroblob stuff. I'll try and Solar Beam him, I think. We'll Solar Beam him, this one, and see if it does anything to him. This is what you need to scan to get that crystal research, by the way. When I said you need to scan them in the wild, that's what you're looking for, is those. Actually, I haven't even checked. Do we have the special accessory tab for Aether? We do. The Aether stuff has its own accessory tab that's accessible by pushing this cloud button. And these items all do certain things. Like the Sweat Cape makes it so that the slimes in this dimension, which are called sweats, will leave us alone. We are now tagged as they're passive to us now. They won't bother us. There's certain accessories that will do certain things. I was wondering when we were going to see a Mimic. Get lost. Some of these items are actually quite cool. I think the Cloud Staff summons like friendly clouds that follow us around and are like turrets. Yeah. See, he's a little hard to see, but if I go into this, yeah, see, I got two of them. And they're turrets. You can see I have the Sweat Cape on, too. I have the cape. It's visible. And these clouds will follow me around and, like, shoot little puffs of stuff at things to see if they'll attack this guy. Will they hurt him? No. Wow, you cloud turrets are useless. To be fair, those guys are kind of weird. I'm not sure if they really count as enemies. They're more of a hazard. I think that's everything. Yeah, okay. Let's try using magic against him just to see what happens, just for the sake of curiosity. Oh, that's right. They shoot. They attack when you attack, is what they do. Huh. They sort of take damage. He seems from the thing. Not really, though. Like, he kind of just doesn't care about it. Now the ice shards go right through him, which makes sense because I think the ice shards are coded to be like arrows, and I know he's immune to arrows. They don't really give a shit about that either. I apologize for my language. I'm distracted right now, so I am using profanity I shouldn't. I apologize sincerely. I'm just gonna sit here in the corner and let him kill himself against my my shield. He's not even taking damage from the shield now. What on earth? Why are you not taking damage from the shield? Don't tell me I'm actually trapped in here now. Wait a minute. Is that it? Hang on. Oh, that's it. So you know how I mentioned the offhand trick you can do with this, with the blood blade and the sentient sword to get blood shards? It works for him too. He's not taking damage from my shield right now because I'm holding a sword in my hand. But if I hold a pick, the retaliatory damage counts as pick damage, so he takes it. That's hilarious. That's a cool little. That's neat. Okay. So you have to block and hold a pick. Okay. Well, I can do that. Ouch. By the way, there is a super overpowered accessory that we can potentially get from one of the Valkyrie dungeons, the silver dungeons. It is an invisibility cape, and it makes you completely invisible, and like no mob can see you while you are wearing it. It is OP as things I can't say without getting into very explicit profanity. It's extremely overpowered, the invisibility cape. I don't know if we'll find it, but if we do, I'm basically set. We won't have to worry about combat probably for the rest of this pack, I don't know. There might be something that can thwart it, but I mean, I wouldn't bet. Anything that can see through invisibility can hit you through it, but it's really strong. You get shields of repulsion, some other things. Nice. You don't get to keep those. They just break when after they've been opened. Okay. So, we've gone through the 2 slider dungeons. So now we have the sun dungeons and those temples. The temples, we'll do a temple next because that's the correct order we're supposed to go in. Is bronze then silver. I think it's going to be closer to just go home. Yeah, we've got 2 of them back at the home portal. So we're just going to teleport home. Nah, I'll keep the cloud staff because it's cute. I'll keep it because it's a cute little toy. Okay. Now then, the way Silver Dungeon works is, I think I explained this in the last episode, but there's a Valkyrie Queen, but she's not going to fight you because you're not worthy. To be worthy, you have to beat up 10 of her Valkyrie companions, and when they die, or when they go away, because it's implied they don't die. They disappear in a puff of smoke and say, "Ow, I'll get you next time," right? Like they're like immortal. They're Valkyries, but you get medallions. When you turn in 10 medallions to her, she'll fight you. Now, these medallions don't have to be from this specific one, and you'll probably find more than 10 Valkyrie in here. So medallions you find can be carried over to extra ones can be carried over to the next thing. So just hold on to those medallions. They can help you out, especially if I've seen one of these dungeons spawn in a way where half of it was missing. It spawned incorrectly, and the only way I could fight the Valkyrie Queen was by bringing medallions from other dungeons to her. But ouch. That does a ton of damage. That is a hysterical amount of damage. Aha. See, it's her. What's that you want to fight? Aw, a cute little human. Aw, a cute little human. You're not thinking of fighting a big, strong Valkyrie, are you? You're not thinking of fighting a big, strong Valkyrie, are you? I want to see if this is a one-shotter. Oh, do I have to pop her one? I have to pop her one. Oh, she's just straight up immune to magic. I see. Well, she's immune to whatever that was, anyway. Maybe solar beam? No. What about firebomb? No, she doesn't care about that either. Interesting. Valkyries appear to be blanket immune to magic. Fair enough. I'm not sure if that's an Aether thing or if that's something saying that added to this pack, but either way, that's good to know. Okay, I give up. Jeez, right. She dropped a victory medal, and once we get 10 of them, we can fight the Valkyrie Queen. I would laugh myself sick if one of these 2 silver dungeons gives us the invisibility cloak. I might actually have to sort of just agree to not use it. Just be like, listen, I'm not going to use this because it's too good. It is a very strong accessory. Well, gee. You gentlemen weren't trying to hide that one very well, were you? There we go. The Aether is the true heaven of the Minecraft extended multiverse cosmology because it has tomboy Valkyries in it. What more could you ask for? Okay, geez, here's your medal. By the way, what causes them to flip into existence like that is some of the blocks are trapped, and when you step on them, triggering the trap causes them to spawn. That is what that is. So, certain blocks, when you step on them, they can trigger Valkyries to spawn. Just in case you're wondering what causes that to happen. It can be a bit startling sometimes when they just sort of, whoop, they just sort of magically come into existence. Got 5. We may have to wander a bit to try and trip some more Valkyries. We've got one more floor to go, I think. Aha, that was a trap tile. By the way, I said something incorrect last episode. I mentioned we're going to have to fight the Lich. No, that's not the way that works. So, like I mentioned, I think I talked about this. Sometimes I forget what I've mentioned and what I haven't. There's an order to which you have to fight the Twilight Forest bosses. my voice broke. There's an order to which they're supposed to be fought, but I always get it confused. I never get it right. The Lich isn't who you start with. You start with the Naga, which is in the maze. The Naga dies first, and that opens the way to the Lich. The Lich is the second one you fight. And then you go through them from there. I don't know who comes after the Lich. I want to say the Lich opens the way to the snow biome, and then you fight the Yetis to get access to the glacier. You fight the Chief Yeti. And then on top of the glacier, you fight the Ice Queen, and I think the Ice Queen gives you what you need to go to the swamp. Right? I think. I'm trying to keep this straight, but I'm not sure if that's the correct order of operations. We will be able to do all of the Aether stuff in one episode. We would not be able to do all the Twilight Forest stuff in one episode, even if I found all of it, because specifically there is a maze that is very rough. Called it's in the swamp. It's got a Minotaur in it, but the Minotaur isn't the real hassle. It's getting to him that is the problem. The maze is just, it's a really bad maze. Like, I'm not joking. It's pretty rough. The maze is also, there is some anti-cheat involved in the maze. Much like how these dungeons I made in the Aether, the way the developer of this mod handled it is these structures are simply indestructible until you've beaten the boss. Like, I can't harvest these blocks. Even though they should be harvestable, I can't break anything in here until we win, right? And then I could tear the whole dungeon apart if I wanted to, but I have to win first. The way the Twilight Forest handled the maze to stop someone from breaking it is the block the maze is made of is just the toughest stuff you've ever seen in your life. Like, I'm talking 4 or 5 times longer to break obsidian. Like, it takes forever to break maze stone blocks. And it's bad. However, you do have to break blocks to find the secret, because there's a possibility, I think it's like a 20% chance that any given maze can spawn with a secret room. There's some really cool stuff in the secret room, including stuff that you can only get from the secret room. However, getting into it requires you to know where the secret room is, and it requires you to be able to either have the patience to stand there and break blocks of maze stone, or have a tool that can. One of the items that you can find in the secret room is called the Maze Breaker, which is a special pick from Twilight Forest that is rated for Maze Stone. It can break Maze Stone. It's able to break it as though it was that tier. What I would like to do is before we go there to that maze in this pack, I'd like to get the Divine Shikaxe and then upgrade it into the Dire Pick. Because that thing has a mining rating of 20, and then the Dire Pick, if you super enchant it by making it as the Dire Pick, by crafting it into that, it gains an additional efficiency XX. So in addition to having mining speed 20, it gains efficiency 20 on top of it. If anything, if any non-Maze Breaker pick could go through Maze Stone, it would be the Dire Pick. Like, it would have to be. Like, that's gotta be able to do it. So I'd like to get one before we go there. But the problem with that is we've got to fight a ton of bosses and get those shards to drop. I may have to do that grind off screen just because that would be me making like 50 lures and fighting 50 of the bosses we've already fought. Like, it would be a huge pain. I'm not going to spend a whole episode doing that. Just, I think you'd probably die of boredom if I did. So, but I would like to have the pick before we go after the Minotaurs, just to see if it works in the maze. It might have an efficiency high enough that it actually can. Which would be an interesting change of pace for me to go through the maze and actually have a way to break down walls, because that's not the intended experience. Let's just say that. That's not the intended manner in which you're supposed to go through that place. I have actually taken a not insignificant amount of damage. I need to eat and heal. Okay. Valkyrie Queen, 904. She has almost as much health as the dragons do. Yeah, this has definitely been meddled with by sainagh. He has definitely changed some things. Greetings, Gonf Jodul. Excuse me. The Valkyrie Queen. Let me write that name down. Don't worry, it's a surprise tool that'll help us later. What can you tell me about this place? This is a sanctuary for us Valkyries who seek rest. I wish to fight you. Very well then, bring me 10 medals for my subordinates to prove your worth, then we'll see. On second thought, I'd rather not. So be it then. Goodbye, adventurer. I wish to fight you. I'm ready. I have the medals right here. Now then, let's begin. And she will give you first swing because she is either very chivalrous or very cocky. Now, how about you? You don't care at all about magic. So Valkyries just seem to be blanket immune to magic. Either, again, I'm not sure if that's a problem with this pack or if that's something he's done to make this a harder fight than it would be otherwise. I mean, it's not that hard. Battle signs exist. I mean, I'm sitting here with one finger on the right mouse button and I'm drinking a drink, so. Tinker's is very strong, by the way. It's a very strong mod. I should probably swing at least once, shouldn't I? Just to liven this up some. Those are going to summon lightning bolts in a second. Yep. Boop. You are truly a mighty warrior. Why, thank you. And you get her sword, which is just a vanilla golden sword. It's not that good. I'm not sure why these aren't opening. That seems to be some kind of glitch. I'm not sure. But I'm sorry. We got it. Oh no. Oh no. That's streamer luck. That's recording stuff for YouTube luck is what that is. In Heavens of Sorcery, when I was playing it single player for fun, I had to go through 20 freaking silver dungeons to find this invisibility cloak. First try. First try, we get the invisibility cloak. Oh no. Oh no. Oh dear. I do need blocks from here, so I guess we'll just take the throne. That seems like a... Actually, I say this is quote-unquote heaven, but in the Meatballcraft lore that he wrote, this isn't real, right? This is a fake heaven, is how he's selling this in his personal mod pack lore. This is... Everything here is genetically engineered, right? So this is like the Minecraft version of... oh, what is that place called? Not Rapture, because it's the other one, the one that's in the sky. I don't remember, from Bioshock Infinite. Columbia. So this is like the Minecraft version of Columbia, where it's a fake heaven, right? Made with genetic engineering and like stuff like that. There, we've got some angelic stone. I don't even know if I should put the invisibility cloak on. It's so OP. Unfortunately, you can't put these things into the bauble case from Botania because Aether is so old, it's such a legacy mod, that it's not baubles compatible. Like, everything is baubles compatible, but not Aether. Aether's not bauble compatible. That's why it's got its own thing down here where you can fit all of your stuff. So, you know, this is an old mod. I think I did explain, I told the story, right, about how this was one of the original, like, rumors, and how the end was actually the sky dimension that Notch ended up going with. That's how old this is this is essentially, it is that old. This has an EMC value too. We can EMC that. I don't know if I'll go do the other one while we're here. You know what? I won't. Let's move ahead at a steady clip, and let's. Although I will mark this as silver cleared. There. Let's go to one of the sun dungeons and do this. Now you'll notice it's always daytime in the Aether. That's because the sun god is stopping the sun from setting. Once we kill him at least once, by the way, these are the islands that he spawns on. They're sort of bubble-shaped, and they have a lot of golden oaks on them, if you're having trouble spotting one. They can be a little hard to see. The sun god, that's him, is the reason the sun does not set here. Once we defeat the sun god at least once in one of the dungeons, there will be a normal daylight cycle here, and his power over the dimension will be broken. Actually, that's this mod's lore. Is there anything like that in... What does this say? Found inside Sky Islands. There will be 3x3 entrances, break blocks after finishing the dungeon. Large Greek temples floating in the skies, break blocks after finishing the dungeon. Rare and quite hard to find bell-shaped islands with gold oaks, break blocks after finishing the dungeon. There's relatively little war happening on the skies above Terra. That was almost too easy. Curious if it is because those who are involved in this war do not know of astral magic. I don't know. Now, this dude is a little bit rougher because you can't hurt him. You're certainly a brave soul to have entered this chamber. Begone, human, you serve no purpose here. Your presence annoys me. Do you not fear my burning aura? No. Fight me. Fight me. I have nothing to offer you, fool. Leave me at peace. Perhaps you are ignorant. Do you wish to know who I am? Sure. Tell me. I am a sun spirit, embodiment of the Aether's eternal daylight. As long as I am alive, the sun will never set on this world. My body burns with the anger of 1,000 beasts. No man, hero, or villain can harm me. You are no exception. That's important, because you can't hurt him. Wish to challenge the might of the sun? You are mad. Do not further insult me, or you will feel my wrath. This is your final warning. Leave now or prepare to burn. I choose to fight. As you wish, your death will be slow and agonizing. So, you can't hurt him at all. He's invincible. But like a true, you know, video game boss, he uses an attack that you can bounce back at him. The fireballs don't do anything. We're looking for that. The icy balls. He summons icy balls that you can then swat at him. I missed. And these are what hurt him. Fortunately, sainagh has not, I think... I missed again. I'm an idiot. He appears to have not escalated this guy's health beyond the vanilla 50, probably because this is already an obnoxious enough fight as it is. You can also bat away the fireballs, but they don't do anything if they hit him. It's only the ice balls that hurt him. Why the sun god would use ice magic that is the only thing in the universe that can hurt him, I don't know. No one said he was smart, okay? Come on. Aw. There we go. I hit him. He summons smaller versions of himself. That one broke. Like I said, this isn't a difficult boss fight, but it takes a minute. And it's not immediately obvious what you need to do to fight him, although his dialogue does tell you. It hints that no man, beast, hero, or villain can defeat him. So you need to use his own power against him. Again, why he uses ice magic, I don't know. Dang it, that one was floating a little bit too high for me to catch. Can I hit these with magic? No. Get smacked. Since they do 5 damage each, you do have to do this 10 times, which is a little bit frustrating. Although, if I remember correctly, the less health he has, the more ice balls he throws, so it does get a little easier as the fight goes on. Dang it. See, and that's the problem. If the ice ball touches you, it breaks. So you have to finesse it a bit. There's a reason he's my least favorite boss. He's a gimmick. It takes so long to fight him. I would rather farm the Valkyries and the sliders. These dudes, the sun gods, just suck. I wonder if it would be worth it to just stand in the corner. Maybe that's the 1000 IQ strat, is to just wait for him to bounce one to you. Gotcha. Oh wow, I've already filled up the other Grand Tartaric gem. That, the Valkyries must have been giving me a lot of demonic will. No, angle was wrong. I knew it was wrong the moment I swung. You know what I mean? You know that feeling when you take the shot and you know immediately, not good. That's a miss. That's a hard miss. This, more than anything, feels like a Legend of Zelda boss. I swear. This super feels like a Legend of Zelda boss. Dang it. I zigged and he zagged. This is almost exactly like the fight with the two witches in Ocarina of Time, but I don't remember what they're called. I don't remember their names. I just remember the sound. That's all I remember. Is how annoying they were. And then they died of old age. And I laughed because I was a child and I thought that was hilarious. Come on now. That one was so free and I messed it up. That was so free and I leaped right into it and smashed my face against it like an idiot. I wonder if divine damage can hurt this guy. Divine damage is a modded Minecraft thing. There we go. I got him. That was an impressive shot. There is a weapon in this pack that can do divine damage. There's at least one, which is the Kikoku. And it's like true damage. It's added by extra utilities too. It's intended to go through things that are meant to stop. It's intended to be a damage that exceeds things that are meant to stop damage, right? He coded it to be a thing that can break other mods. Like that was the point, is that it was supposed to be this crazy thing. I wonder if divine damage can hurt the Sun Spirit through his invulnerability. I wonder if I brought the Kikoku into this fight, if it would. Oh, I feel like that should have definitely hit. It didn't, but I feel like it should have. Oh, if I block it, it doesn't get, like, sent, but I can sort of hold it next to me. It sort of dribbles it a little bit. That's interesting. That would have been really impressive if that one hit. Come on, Ostacardian, or whatever your name is. Let's get this over with. We got places to go. We got the Naga to fight. We got to go to the Twilight Forest. You're just sandbagging. You're just wasting time. It's going to be a corner pocket one. It's not going to hit. Yeah, no way. Come on. You know, I did have a lot of luck when I just sat here, when I didn't do anything. Maybe that's the play. Ha! Gotcha. Three more and he's done. The worst part is I don't even think there's much in his loot table that's worth doing all of this. Like, the Valkyries have one accessory that's super OP, which is the invisibility cloak. It's rare, although you wouldn't know it since I got it first pull, but trust me, it's very rare. As far as I know, the Sun Spirits, the Sun Gods, don't even have anything that's rare, like that's super good in their pool. There's like no reason to do this in vanilla Aether, except just because it's there, because it dares you to do it, right? He's just a huge pain. He's just a giant pain. Okay. 2 more hits and he's done. Come on. I also need to really farm the Ender Dragon now to get more of the green hearts, so I can get those out. I've actually made the containers. I just need the materials to upgrade them. The last hearts, the blue ones, come from evokers. There's a dimension that evokers spawn in, according to the quest book. We will eventually start running into evokers, but you can make evoker spawn eggs, and they're actually not that difficult to craft. I might potentially make one and then put it like in the woot farm or something, just as something to farm, because then they'll start dropping those hearts and we can fully top off our health. Come on, see how he's got a lot of ice balls out now, because he's almost done. Although they don't seem to be lasting very long either. Got him. Such bitter cold. Is this feeling pain? No, it's what it feels like to chew 5 gum, my guy. That's what it feels like to chew 5 gum. So he also drops the Sun Altar, which is a cool decorative block, but it also has a functional purpose. If I recall correctly, clicking on it makes it so you can change it from day to night at will, which is a pretty cool little reward for beating him. That's the thing you get for beating him, essentially, is you get one of those. Alright, and we get nothing. We get a bunch of chain gloves, which are crap, we get some phoenix boots, and we get an iron bubble. Whatever. Whatever, man. Okay. We'll go ahead and mark this as cleared sun dungeon, just in case we have to come back here. Remove sun. Cleared, sun dungeon cleared. Alright, and that's pretty much it for the Aether in Vanilla Aether. You can see now that it is night, we have broken his hold over it, so now the day-night cycle is real here. Although I don't know why it's so freaking dark when it's the middle of the day. Is it an eclipse or something? I don't know why it's this dark, but whatever. Anyway, without any more plugins or mods or add-ons that change the Aether, that's pretty much it. There's not much more to this place than that. Lost Aether content does add more stuff, but again, that's not here. I suspect, again, largely for the same reason that there was no mod that overhauled the Ender Dragon. It's because there's 80 dimensions in this mod pack, and we are not meant to dwell on any one dimension for that long. Well, my man... Oh, I guess it was dark because it was raining. My man really wrote me an essay in the chat. Blowing up my chats. Defeat the Golden Dungeon boss. Alrighty. So, let's go to the Twilight Forest now. And I will use the invisibility cloak in the Twilight Forest just to show you how ridiculously OP it is. But first, let's repair our armor and stuff. And just to show this to you, check this. As soon as I put this on, I'm gone. I vanish. Just like that. I am not a real person anymore. It is true. It is wearing the one ring from the Hobbit levels of invisibility. You cannot be seen when you have the invisibility cloak on. It is pretty crazy. Which is another reason that although it is very OP, I try to avoid using it when possible, not just because it's overpowered, but also because, quite frankly, I mean, you get cool armor in a lot of these packs. You get to wear some really fabulous looking stuff, but if you wear the invisibility cloak, you never get to see it because you're permanently invisible. It is best in slot, though, like, objectively. Out of all the Aether things you can put in the Aether Cape slot, it is by far the best. Like, not even close, not even a contest. Let's go ahead and get all that repaired. The Ender IO pipes, by the way, transmit fluid much faster, and they don't need a redstone engine to do it. So they are an upgrade, just for the record. Let's go ahead and dump off everything that we had, once again. How much space is left in here? Not a whole lot. I'll still do it anyway. I'll recklessly cause problems for future me without the slightest care or concern. Let's go ahead and put one of the filled Grand Tartaric gems. By the way, in case you can tell, I made the Dragon Egg mill and went and retrieved the Dragon Egg from killing the Ender Dragon for the first time, and I have placed it here. So we are now gaining 500. Or we have 614 grid power now, just in case that wasn't clear. The Dragon Egg mill is pretty, if I recall correctly, it's pretty straightforward. Dragon Egg mill. Yeah, it's 2 nether stars, 4 stone burnt, an ender pearl, a redstone gear, and then Eye of Redstone, which is just redstone, a resonating redstone crystal, and ender pearl. Pretty easy to make one of these. And this is what it looks like. Blocks, it even tells you what you do. You have to put the dragon egg on top of it. And just in case people weren't aware, the way the dragon egg works, I mean, this is old Minecraft knowledge, but just in case you don't know, if you swipe the egg, it'll teleport in a random location away from you. However, it obeys gravity, so breaking the block underneath it and having a torch under there will break it. Also, any action that would push it will cause it to be will cause it to drop as well, which I will demonstrate right now, just as a fun aside, so you can see. Again, I feel like this is very old Minecraft knowledge, and most people are already aware of it. But if I were to do this, it broke, dropped, and now you can pick it up. So that's how you can get it. If the egg teleports into the end portal, it will appear randomly somewhere at spawn, just so you know. That is coded to happen, and you can just put this on top. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Put that away, put that away. This is probably done because, yeah, it goes a lot faster once you have something that can transmit lava quickly. And since I'm now invisible, I don't really fear the consequences of my actions, to be completely honest with you. Let me go ahead and make some more blood oranges, because we'll probably need them. And also, because cheesing the lich is funny, I'm going to... Actually, do I have a boat in here? I do, don't I? Didn't I put a boat in here? Yeah, oak boat. Hang on. Here's a fun trick for fun and profit in the Twilight Forest. If you can trick the lich into standing in a boat, his whole fight becomes a complete piece of cake. Like, you can run that nerd for his lunch money if you can get him to stand in a boat. It's very funny. I don't think it works with the Ice Queen because of the way she's floating around on top of her flying carpet of ice. I don't think it works on like anybody else, but you can cheese the lich with a boat, just so you know, and I will do it as a demonstration just because it's funny. Anyway, to the Twilight Forest. Down the rabbit hole we go. Down to Goblin Town. Yo-ho, my lads. Anyway, as you can see, this place is completely burned down. I totally failed to save that tree, but it was also not my problem. That tree grew next to like some lava, so it's not really my issue. By the way, just so you're aware, in case you don't notice, we're at a very low Y level here. The base floor of this forest is at Y level 37. The reason is because there are very, very tall structures in this dimension, so the base floor has to be quite low to permit them. These trees, child's play. Let me show you. If we teleport over here to Ice Queen Glacier, you can see there's a glacier that can appear in the snow biomes, and then that is the Ice Queen's castle, made out of aurora blocks. You can see it from here. That is tall, and believe it or not, the Carmenite Tower in the middle of the Dark Forest is taller than that. So there are some big structures in the Twilight Forest. I almost feel like it's kind of a shame that the Twilight Forest doesn't exist. I don't think it exists in the very most recent updates. It might, because they did increase the world height of the Minecraft world, which is how they were able to fit the Deep Dark in. The Deep Dark is below the level that the old Bedrock used to be at. I kind of wish there was either... They could do it two ways, right? They could either make the world height even taller, or they could have made a proper underground for the Twilight Forest, both of which would have been interesting. Also, there is a chance that a mushroom forest can have a giant mushroom city spawn next to it. That is quite rare. What isn't rare is that usually the giant mushrooms break when they spawn, which is a little unfortunate. This is much like the Aether, or not the Aether, much like Blood Alchemy. The Twilight Forest is an unfinished mod, unfortunately. This dimension was never fully finished. There are some bugs, including certain world gen. Often parts of the mushroom city will break, like this. I didn't do this, it spawned this way. In fact, I imagine, is this a chunk border? Yeah, or no, not quite. It's not a chunk boundary. I would have guessed it was a chunk boundary, but it isn't. Okay. But parts of it can spawn incorrectly. Also, there's nothing here, just in case you were curious. There's nothing in any of these buildings. This was never completed as something to happen in the world. The people working on Twilight Forest never got around to finishing it. But it's very cool to look at. Like, it's very cool. It's very cool on the map. Anyway, multiple mazes. Let's go fight a few Nagas. I marked it because there's here. This is what you're looking for first, is these. These locations here. We'll go fight this one first. Also, I might have to try and catch some of these birds and maybe bring them into the Void World. I do like how the songbirds actually sing in the Twilight Forest. I don't know if having too many songbirds in the Void World would cause crashes. Like, they are entities, but it might be worth it for the flavor just to have a few of them around just so they can tweet. What kind of tree was that? What on earth is this? Desert Acacia. I've never seen this tree. Hang on, I'm sorry. I know I'm getting distracted, but I've never seen this tree before. And as such, I need it for my collection. Excellent. I got some saplings out of that. I really hope that that lightning wraith doesn't zap me to death. Okay. The first boss is the Naga. You're looking for them in structures that look like this. The Naga is very large. You'll know it when you see it, trust me. It also bursts through walls, similar to a dragon. This is, by the way, this substance. You see the maze stone that these, or the sort of spiraling, gnarled stuff this is made out of? This is something added by the Twilight Forest. It's technically cobblestone. You can, if you have chisel or other chisel-like mods installed, you can, in fact, turn cobblestone into this, if you like. This is what I thought all the coal coke was. I wasn't paying attention. I assumed it was some of this from the Twilight Forest. It was not. Anyway. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Where you at? Knock, knock. Open up the door. It is real. Wow, this wolf has eaten so many sheep. I'm sorry. Where on earth? What? What? Where's the Naga? Naga stone is what this stuff is called. I thought it was Naga stone. Do you have to break blocks? Hello? Why on earth is the Naga not spawning? Normally you get jumped as soon as you come in here. That's very strange. If I try and leave, will the Naga jump me? Can I just knock a hole through this wall? Will I be stopped? No, I will not be stopped. Fascinating. I don't know if that's broken. That might be broken. I don't know what has happened. Oh, I wonder if maybe that dimension door's dimension thing spawning in here has broken it. I don't know if that's the case. Maybe. Well, fortunately, there's another one nearby that we can go to. We can go to this one instead. And check and see if this will work. Normally, you get jumped immediately as soon as you come into this place. the fight starts. In fact, I've had the fight start when I walk nearby one of these things. The Naga will spawn and you'll get the boss bar appearing. So physically going into that place and not being jumped is a very strange experience. By the way, these round hills, there's stuff inside of them. There's hollow caves underneath the round hills, but we aren't going to go into any of them today because we are trying to get bosses done. But there's small hills and there's large hills, and the large hills have quite a lot of stuff in there. They're very rich in vanilla resources, lapis, gold, that sort of thing. There's also treasure chests in there too. Hello? Wakey wakey? Eggs and bakey? There it is. There it is. It's a big one. Hello, Naga. Wow, you are a pushover when you're frozen. You know that? Nice. Greatest of snakes. Yeah, the Naga's not that big of a deal. We get the Naga trophy, which is cool. We get a yellow heart. We get Naga scales, which are an ingredient that is a substance that can be used to craft things. We get a Twilight shader, Naga, can be applied to the stuff from immersive engineering. We also get the Twilight shader bag, and that's it. But the important thing is that having done that, I believe the way to the Lich should now be open. So let's go ahead and go. We'll go to this one since it's close. I believe that is all that is necessary. Is killing that, and I think the barrier to the Lich should be down. The Lich is the when you look at it from above, the Lich is these weird looking castle things right up there, like that. You'll see what it is when we get closer. I don't know if I don't think I found one last stream. I was looking for one. I was looking for one on stream because I foolishly thought that the Lich is who you fight first, but we wouldn't have been able to do it anyway. Even if I had found one, it would not have worked. This is one of the big hills. That's a big hill. In fact, I might even mark that as a big hill on the map so we can come back later. Big hill. There we go. That'll have a cavern underneath it. Again, it needs to be a hill because, like I said, we're so low, it kind of has to raise up for there to be anything significant underneath it. There's the Lich's castle. Looks very Castlevania-esque, doesn't it? Very mystical. Okay. Now, this is going to be a very cheesy day because I have the invisibility cloak on, which means all of the undead that are normally in this place shouldn't see me. Which means we're just going to walk in like we own the place, and then we're going to beat the crap out of him after tricking him into standing into a boat. This should be a very anticlimactic encounter. Normally there is a way in. Sometimes you got to make your own way in. It looks like today may be a make your own way in day. Yeah, it is. Yeah, look, see, they don't see us. I am actually invisible. They can't see me. Invisibility cloak is extremely OP. Extremely OP. Let's get some more torches. I do recommend, by the way, teaching your table how to make torches. I have taught mine how to do it, and I don't regret it. There may be... See, I don't have to respect any of these enemies. I disrespect my surroundings immensely. We could also, since we can kind of fly, we could always sort of cheese the whole thing, right? And just not even do this. We could break into the ceiling and work our way down after killing the Lich, which we might. Just to save some time, because I know we spent a lot of time fighting the sun guy. I actually, normally I try and keep track of how long these are going. I have lost track of time with this, so I'm just having to estimate how long we've been doing this. Okay, sometimes there's stuff up in the roof, and sometimes there's not. That's fair. No, give me my glider back, please. We might go down and just go straight up to fight the Lich. These can take a while to explore. They're a little bit twisty. But you can always follow the central spiral staircase up. Up is always the correct direction whenever you are in the Lich's castle. The Lich is at the top. I don't think we're going to need a skeleton spawner for anything, and I can always make one if I want one, because we have those utilities in this pack. I will probably off-screen come here and steal all of his stuff, because he's got, like, I mean, he's got paintings and stuff. When we make our own extra-dimensional castle, I'm definitely going to want to steal some of his swag, his drip, as you Zoomers say. I'm taking his fit. There's lots of different rooms in the dungeon that you can see, like this little table full of cobwebs. There's lots to see here, but we're just sort of we're moving along. Although if there's a library, I might check that out if we can find one. I don't think every Lich's thing has a library, but some of them do. Ooh. No. We're kind of looking, there's a library that's similar to the one that's in the vanilla strongholds. It's got chests in it. That's what we would be looking for. But we may not get one. Okay. Ouch. Come on. No, actually, I think this is it. Is this it? No, because there's no chests. Unfortunate. We'll continue going up. That's where the Lich is, by the way, up there with the glass. I'm going to go ahead, because he's going to spawn any moment. I think that's his spawner. He has a spawner, and he comes out as soon as you get close. I'm going to go ahead and pull the boat, and then we're going to go ahead and put our stuff away, and then I'm going to go ahead and resaturate real fast. Because he'll show up as soon as we get close. I don't know if he'll target me, because I don't think he can, because I'm totally invisible, but... yeah, there he is. What's up, bro? Got him. Okay. The Twilight Lich. This is him. So you can't really hurt him as long as he's got these shields. But what you have to do is you have to reflect stuff back at him. And it takes these shields away when he gets hit by his own projectiles, right? His minions are shooting them too, and they're also invincible because they have the shields. They're also wrecking the paintings in this room, which is unfortunate. But his shields are breaking. The one you want to bounce back at him, by the way, is the one that looks like an ender pearl. You want to bounce the ender pearl back at him. Specifically, dang it, don't wreck all your paintings, man. I care more about your castle than you do. Give me your paintings. There we go. Also, I legitimately think the shield just bounces everything back to him anyway. Oh, the good music is starting to play. Oh, listen. This is like that fairy tale music I was talking about. Yeah, get shot. Listen. I love the soundtrack for Twilight Forest. It's like you're having a lullaby sung to you about the end of the world. Wow, he dropped quite a bit, actually. Oh, and he even dropped a tombstone from Corel Tombstone Forest. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's such good music. Let me tell you a bedtime story about how the world ended. Okay, I believe that he has opened the way to the snow biome now. It was his magic that was blocking the way to that. So I think we can go fight that Yeti in the Yeti cave that we saw last episode, and I think I'm going to go do that. We've also got a lot of paintings that we can use to decorate our home with. They don't have an EMC value, so stealing all of his paintings is completely valid in my opinion. New. Cleared Lich Castle. I'll come here and tear this place down later, and we'll check and see what's inside of it, if anything. Just to double check though, because I think he's going to tell us. Yeah, blank magic map. Oh no. Wait. Have I got this wrong? Oh no. Do we do the maze next? Really? I thought the Ice Queen came after that. Wow, this is way out of order from what I remember. I thought it was like Naga, Lich, Yeti, Ice Queen, then you did the maze with the fire and the strongholds, and then doing the gas tower last. Hang on, is that actually true? Because if so, we'll stop here. I don't know if... How long has this recording even been going on? I can't tell, unfortunately. Ah, jeez. I don't know. I don't think there's enough time to go to the Dimension Doors dimension. We might cut it early here. But let me double check. Let me try and go to the snow biome. did in fact do that. Let me go. Let me teleport back to spawn. Home portal. Because there was a snow biome near here. Can I go into the snow biome now, or is that restricted still? Could have sworn killing the Lich is what lets you go in the snow. It is. We're allowed into the snow biome now. Okay, okay, okay. Man. Sainagh, your boss order there scared me a little bit, buddy. Okay. Then let's do... I think you can do the same trick with the Yeti King, or the Yeti Alpha Yeti. I feel a little bad about beating up on the Yetis, even though I think they're supposed to be scary. They just look like... they look like Japanese mascots, right? Like you'd have a keychain of them or something. I'd have a keychain of one of these guys hanging off my backpack. They're also largely passive. They won't really mess with you unless you mess with them. Although they're... Yep, there's the alpha. There he is. Can I get you to step into this boat, buddy? Will you do me a favor and step into this thing? Shoutouts if the Claymation Yeti from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer scared the crap out of you, because it scared the crap out of me as a kid. Here, get in the boat. Get in the boat, buddy. Get in the boat. He's not going to get in the boat. Fine. Fine, fine. We'll do this the normal way. Now, he's invincible while he's throwing a tantrum. While he's got that shield around him, he cannot be hurt, just so you know. That lightning disc did a lot of damage, though, and he is causing tons of lag by doing that. Dude! One of the other smaller Yetis picked him up and threw him. Oh, they're fighting each other. He aggroed him because he hurt him. That's hilarious. Did you see that little Yeti pick him up and yeet him? That's hysterical. Oh, man. Buddy, you gotta die. Like, you are causing so much lag. You are a lag monster. You need to quit. Okay, and then he's going to get tired when he's done tantruming. There we go. Jeez. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. The primary reason you fight the Yeti is he gives you alpha fur. The Yetis give you Yeti fur, but the alpha fur is a material dropped by the alpha Yeti in the Twilight Forest. It can be used to craft stuff. Spawn alpha Yeti. Okay. This is a recurring theme in Twilight Forest, is certain things that you craft here can come with enchantments on them. The Alpha Yeti set comes with enchantments already applied to it when you craft it. The Yeti boots chills attackers for each piece that you wear of it. It gives protection to, feather falling, protection to, protection to, protection to, right? Apparently the Yeti fur is also needed to make Swiftwolf's Rending Gale, which shoots lightning at nearby mobs when placed on a pedestal, activates every 3.5 seconds. We need Alpha Yeti Fur, Stone, and Carmonite to make Aurora Blocks, which I don't know why that's a Craft Tweaker recipe he made. Maybe we need Aurora Blocks for something later. We need Alpha Yeti Fur and other things from the Twilight Forest to make Twilight Essence, which is from Content Tweaker, of course. And Alpha Yeti Fur is also used to make Ice Constructs, which is something from Thaumic that is added by Craft Tweaker that he has made. What do we need Aurora Blocks for that you would give us a crafting recipe for it? Is it something I can even see right now, or is it not visible yet? It may not be visible yet. Okay. But we do need Alpha Yeti Fur eventually. It also looks cool if you make the armor set. It's not a great armor set. Like, it's nothing to, like, write home about. But also the ice bombs that he drops let you, when you throw them, they are grenade forms of the thing that he throws at you when he does that tantrum. That's what they do. It's a weaponized version of that you get. Similar to how the Lich dropped that staff, I kind of glossed over it, but the Lich dropped that Scepter of Twilight, 99 charges left. It summons the minions that he summons, You get that. Let's see. That looks like a glacier. Let me see. I don't think I can go to the glacier yet. I'm not sure. Let me check and see if I can go to the glacier, because we'll fight the Ice Queen too if we can, but if not. By the way, she has one of the most swag boss dungeons in all of modded Minecraft. Just hang on, let me land so you can just soak that in and appreciate it. Just take that shot in. Check that out. That is definitely, that's a wallpaper right there. Like, if you're gonna live in an evil base, have some swag about it, right? Do it in style. Anyway. Also, there are penguins added by Twilight Forest that exclusively hang out on this glacier, and they all look like Gunther from Adventure Time. And yes, you can pick them up and take them home if you have a means to do so, and I probably will, because I think they're adorable. What on earth is that? Frostily, ice and fire. I don't even know what you are, but I'm taking you home. There's not a lot on the glacier. The glacier itself is pretty much just it's a giant thing of ice. Like, there's nothing here really, right? It's just a million blocks of ice. The primary purpose is to serve as a home for that thing. I guess since we can approach it, that by defeating the Lich, I thought my memory was right. We can now do her dungeon. Right. I kind of don't want to speed through this one. Like, I will, because I want to get it done, like, now on stream. But also, hers is one of the cooler ones. And, like, just look at everything. Look at how cool everything is in here. This is a great dungeon. This is also a parkour dungeon, which can make it a little bit frustrating if you are, if you don't have, I don't know, something that lets you just cheese it, like the flying squid ring. This can be a really frustrating thing. This is also when we start getting materials that are actually decent, such as the ice bow and the ironwood ingots. We can start getting materials that are actually good. I should mention, if it wasn't for the weird Thaumcraft UFO that was made of steel leaf blocks, this is probably about where we would start beginning to see steel leaf too, is in her dungeon. As you can see, there are also a variety of more interesting and dangerous creatures that will drop armors and various other accessories for our use. See, steel leaf swords, arctic jackets, dyeable like leather armor. There's a lot of cool stuff in the Twilight Forest. It's a very cool mod. It's one of my favorites. It's up there with the Betweenlands. Listen, okay, there are mods in Minecraft that add dimensions that are a lot like what the Nether was in the very beginning, right? In the beginning of modded Minecraft, the Nether was essentially, it was crap, right? It was just bad. It was a single color. Everything was red. Everything was made out of like one block, right? And there were like 2 enemies that spawned there, right? Boring. There are a lot of mods that add extra dimensions to Minecraft that essentially are like that early Nether, where they just, you know, it's just, it's that. Where on earth do we go? Excuse me. And then there's mods like the Betweenlands and the Twilight Forest, which for all intents and purposes add another overworld. That is essentially what they do, is they add another overworld that you can go to. This is a whole other overworld, comparable in scope and size. Why on earth? I guess we could fly all the way to the top and break our way in, but that just seems kind of lame. I didn't see another way in, though. Like, is this a dead end? Anyway, my point is the Betweenland and the Twilight Forest are fantastic dimension mods, and even though they do get a lot of credit, I still feel as though they don't get enough credit because they're truly amazing. Do I have have to break through the ceiling here? What? Maybe. I'm sorry, excuse me? What happened here? Why is this pillar encased in wood? What? Oh, there's the door. I'm sorry. I'm just blind. Sorry. Very sneaky. Arctic fur, which is the non-Alpha Yeti version of the Alpha Yeti fur. Oh, and just for laughs, I really cannot recommend enough the scanner rigged with the treasure chest thing. Like, it really does make stuff like this so much easier. We can just see where everything is. We can even see where things are in other parts of this thing. So you don't miss anything if you put a treasure chest on your scanner for the custom block. I cannot recommend this enough. It's one of my favorite tricks. So feel free to steal it from me and then claim it for your own. And you can tell your friends that you're very, very smart. Don't worry, I won't mind. Most of my tricks are stolen from other people too, so it's all fair in love and war. Sometimes there's stuff up here in the rafters. It's a very, very common place to hide things. So these charms of keeping, they let you keep parts of your inventory if you use them. However, I'd recommend you don't use them because who on earth saw me? I'm invisible. Oh, you. You're probably... I bet you work on blaze logic, don't you? Blazes are one of the things that aren't fooled. There's certain enemies in Minecraft that aren't fooled by invisibility, and anything that uses their AI for its enemy AI will not fall for invisibility of any stripe, including the stuff from the Aether. I was just saying something, but I don't remember what it was because I got interrupted by being attacked. I apologize. I don't remember what I was saying. It's fine. Oh, right. The charms of keeping. You need them to craft something, so don't spend them. In fact, I can probably show you what you craft them with. Give me just a second. Charm. Yeah. So if you take... Oh, you can make them in the Twilight Forests matter in Deep Mob Learning. That's cool. So 4 of them will make a Charm of Keeping 2. Or apparently they'll use... This is content tweaker stuff. Okay. Weird, but alright. And 4 of these will make Charm of Keeping 3. The Charm of Keeping 3... Well, I thought it was used to make something. It's normally, it has a use found at the end of the Twilight Forest. What? How strange. What? Starfield Gem is... Did he put that in the castle? He must have. I'm not sure what that is, but I suspect that may be something he put in the castle, special loot. We also got a Knightly Sword, which is quite cool. But normally there's a thing you can craft from those. But anyway, the point is they help keep your inventory when you die is what happens. Parts of your inventory are kept at random, and the higher level it is, the better. Maybe it's the other one. Maybe it's these. Is it the Charm of Life that's used to make it? It's the Charm of Life. Charm of Life 2. No, I guess not. What do I know? We're officially above the clouds, though. We are very high up. Check that. Considering how low we were to start with, that is quite an extraordinary thing. I think maybe once we get to her and beat her, we will stop for the day, because that's... I think after her, the Minotaur is next after her, or at least that's the way I recall it. And we're definitely not going into the maze this time. I want the Divine Shikaxe, I want the Dire Pick for that. So I'll need to do a lot of farming off screen for that. But fortunately, we've made some progress. We've accomplished some things. So I can safely push and do some drudgery off screen without having to do anything terribly important. Although I think the last thing we'll do before I cut the stream, I do want to make Modularium on stream and make one of the modular machines, just because I think that might progress the quest. I think that might be main quest progression. I'm not sure, to show us what's next. Ouch. Excuse you. Oh right, I forgot. These dudes are unstable and they transform things when they break. Unstable ice core. See that guy? That guy? So when he blows up and dies, he turns blocks into other blocks. Like these pillars get turned into terracotta. Aurora blocks get turned into glass, right? Like they really wreck everything that they touch when they blow up. They're like an unstable magical creature. Which on the one hand is cool, but on the other hand, I hate how it ruins this castle, because this is easily the swaggest castle, like by far. I hate that there's enemies in here that just straight up grief the castle as you go through it. It's kind of sad. The Aurora blocks are very cool looking. And I feel kind of bad that there's giant blemishes of it on the way up. Again, I'm not sure if we can get her in a boat. I don't think she'll fit in one, but I can certainly try. I think we're coming up on her. We're not on her, but we're getting there. Ooh, Enderbow. That one came enchanted. Nice. Is there a turn off that I missed, maybe? No. Actually, yeah, there might be. Hang on. I think I've gone too high. I think she's in one of the lower ones. She's probably in that one. That would be my guess. Man, peep that soundtrack. I mean, she is in here, isn't she? This is a little bit weird. This is one of my favorite soundtracks. Is this tune right here? It sounds so adventurous. Surely there can't be a Snow Queen class castle that doesn't have the queen in it. That would be weird. You know what? I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna start going through roofs because I don't want to waste too much time here because I know we've spent a while. I'm getting tired from playing, so I know we must be getting close to the limit on time. Let me get out of here and start going through roofs, and we'll see if we can find her. Where are you? My gamble is here. Are you in here? Yes, I guessed correctly. Greetings. This is the Snow Queen. So normally you're supposed to wait for her to come down on top of you and wait until that happens, and then you can jump up onto her little platform with her and damage her by swiping at her with a sword. But we have magic and she's not immune to magic, so we're just nuking her. Goodbye. You had the coolest boss castle, but unfortunately you were also the most basic of all the bosses. The Sun God was, unironically, a much more difficult fight than you. Sorry. I'm just calling it like I see it. I apologize, but it is what it is. Okay. Let's, gonna need some torches for this, actually. And yes, I know. I could indeed have made the blood lamps from blood alchemy, and I will probably make a bunch of sigils. Maybe next time we'll do that, and I'll show how to do that. It's pretty basic. It's not complicated. A fortress of solitude. She just wanted to be left alone with her ice, man. She was a hickey at heart. She was a hikikomori. But I busted in and I took her lunch money. I reminded her that she skipped out on prom to play Animal Crossing. She just couldn't handle it. Anyway, I guess we'll go ahead and do one of these. Remove Ice Queen Castle cleared. There we go. Oh man, I am bushed. And I think we're done. The tri-bow is pretty cool. If I remember correctly, it shoots 3 arrows at once. That's pretty baller. It's actually not a bad weapon, especially since we're coming up on the Hydra. The Hydra is one of the enemies. Once we go through the maze and beat the Minotaur, the Hydra is living in the swamp. It is a very large dragon. It is as big as the stage 5 Ice and Fire dragons. It's very, very big, and it has 3 heads. The tri-bow is pretty useful against the Hydra, so having one of those is quite nice. But I think we're going to go ahead and /home. And I think we might call it here. I'm trying to think. I know I mentioned something else I wanted to do, but I don't remember what it was because I'm really tired. I apologize for that. And I know we don't have time to go into the Dimension Doors dimension. There's no way we have time for that. And I'm not sure I could either. I'm fading. I'm gonna have to take a nap after this. But I think everything is. Oh, interesting. Malignant ice pearls. Summoned ice cores are dangerously unstable. Does this let you summon? Is this because I know there's an Electroblobs plug-in for the Twilight Forest specifically that is in this pack. Does this make it so you can summon ice cores that are unstable, like the ones we just saw, and they can blow up? Because that's kind of cool. Equip this ring in the Bobble's inventory. The Chariot of Ice ground slam destroys blocks. Oh wait, you can get. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm yawning. You can get her Chariot of Ice. That's pretty cool that you can get that as a spell. That's pretty baller. Alright, I think we're going to call it here. Oh, wait, no, I wanted to make the modularium casing on screen just in case that progresses things. That was the one thing I wanted to do. Right. Okay, to make one of these, we've already got modularium because I made it ahead of time. I started cooking it. To make modularium, you need iron, red matter, and dark matter, and you need to smelt them together. This gets expensive real quick, but we can make it. Okay. The modularium is used to make machine casings. So we're going to have to make one of these. I think we can do most of this. Oh wait, no, we can't. We're going to have to. I can't do this on screen because this was. So I need to make the nuclear craft melter to melt down more redstone to make unstable redstone, right? Because we don't have any left. Because it's kind of not that common. We need it to make the flux crystals. And then we're going to need fiery unguents, which is cloudy oil, which is any plant. Okay, I may have to progress this off screen. I don't know. We'll see. I might hold off on it because I can explore other dimensions and I can build towards this and we can do it next episode. It won't be that big of a deal to wait. But I'm gonna have to wait, I think, on the fluxed armor platings. We can do everything else right now, though, I think, but that's the problem. Oh, and there is a way to make this much more worthwhile if you replace the fiery unguents with fiery renum ingots, but we can't make these yet. Found in Rehenna, automated using the Rehenium chicken. Fiery unguent bottle. Like we can make the fiery unguent bottles, but the problem is Rehenium. Like, I have no clue where to get this, where it comes from. I assume it comes from a specific dimension that we don't have access to yet. That would be my guess. So, yeah. Found on Rehenia, automated using the Rehenium chicken. Okay. So that recipe is beyond us for now. Yeah, I might have to prep making machine casing off screen, and then we will do that next time. Most everything else is pretty easy. The the end stuff is just obsidian, dark steel, and end stone to make end steel. It's not a big deal. I'll try and get some woot set up as well. I might see if I can get an evoker running. I definitely want to get a scorcher running because the scorcher blaze powder is what's used to make the ender crates and ender tanks, which lets you do superpositioned tanks. So I could put all of my lava into a tank and then pull from it from multiple sources that are not connected by pipes. That's very cool. Also, that thing we found in Isica is opened by a key, and there's also a weird grave monolith I found in the overworld that is also opened by a key. It's not these keys. These keys are used to open the stuff on the roof of the nether. But, and ice. I think it was ice and fire. Dreadwood keyhole. Yeah, this is the thing that I ran into, and it was in the in Isica 2. Dreadwood. I'm not sure how you make a Dreadwood key. Fire key. Gravemaster's key. Okay. We need a key of binding from Animus. 4 dragon skulls. A troll tusk, which means we have to find trolls and kill them, and then a cyclops skull. I've killed cyclopses, but they haven't dropped skulls. I'm not sure. We'll have to look into that to see if I can get a cyclops skull. But I guess I'll mark this ahead, because I think we need one of these keys to progress in some stuff that we're running into. Oh, and this is what the quest mentioned. Remember how it said warp cleansers are recommended? So we can make a multi-block called the Sterilized Sacrificial Altar, which looks like this. So LP is the blood, right, from blood alchemy. PE is abbreviated potential energy, and it's the magical power in Abyssialcraft. So there's liquid LP and liquid PE, so liquefied energy from both of these mods. 4 Dreadlands Essence, 8 Sanitizing Soap, and a Cleansing Balm makes the Dreading Warp Cleanser, which removes permanent warp. And then this, which is 64 Omethal Essence, 8 Dreading Warp Cleansers, 12 Shards of Oblivion, and a Yurako Heart. 48 Sanitizing Soap, 16 Cleansing Balm Bottles, and a Yurako Scale, 2 Divine Stone, and 2 Life Crystal creates the Omethal Warp Cleanser. Infinite uses, removes all warp. This is the thing where the quest book says it strongly recommends you have one of these before you eat the very scary Vishroom. I'm not sure what the Shulker altar in the end is. My guess would be that place where the Shulkers were spawning, but I didn't see a giant bird boss spawn. I might have to examine those altars a bit more closely to see if that is in fact the Shulker altar or not. But either way, I think that's going to be it for now. I might have some woot set up later next time to show off and talk about. But I think until then, that is going to be it for us. I think we're going to go ahead and cut it here. I had a good time. We fought a lot of bosses. We put the Lich in a boat and laughed at him. Good times. Good times. This has been, oh, and we got a dragon egg. Let's not forget that. We'll be able to try and get a pet dragon pretty soon. That's pretty baller, right? This has been Meatballcraft, Dimensional Ascension. Hugs are even cooler edition. I agree. I'm not sure if hugs are cooler than baby dragons, but they're definitely up there. And this has been Lord Rain. Good night, dear watcher. Good night.